Hi, good morning. This is Dr. Makhan Saikia, an expert in international affairs. Let's discuss today a very important topic, that is Asian order. When you look at Asian order, how we look at it? First of all, the very important thing is that an Asian order is conceptualized by many international experts by saying that China will be leading this international order. But when you look at the conditions, geopolitical conditions of Asia, right? Looking at powers like very powerful countries like India, Japan, Singapore, and many others, is it possible for an Asian order to be led by China? Or is these countries, say Singapore, say Japan, say India, they're going to accept a Chinese leadership for an Asian order? Very clearly, these countries, many of them, starting from India to Japan to many other Southeast Asian countries, even say Indonesia, Philippines, right, Vietnam, many of them are in conflict with China. When you look at South China Sea, this is a very contested kind of a zone where China is claiming that it is having the sole right to have its territorial claim on South China Sea. And many other things are also happening in East China Sea. So here these powers are in clash with China. And many of them are very scared of an authoritarian kind of a model propagated by China since 1949, the year of its independence. Right? Since the days of Mao Zedong or Mao Zedong till Xi Jinping, what we have seen is that China has been following a very authoritarian kind of a model. But when China joined WTO, many of these Western advocates of market capitalism, they said China will be gradually opened up and China will be gradually opened up to democratic kind of a system. But this has not happened. The veteran Chinese leader Deng Xiaoping kind of people have opened it, but by keeping the Chinese socialist system intact. So what does all that mean? They have, adjusted the capitalist market economy with that of their socialist style of governance. So if this is the permanent kind of a system that China will be following in the years to come, and the days to come, and the decades to come, so we cannot expect any kind of reform or any kind of fundamental freedoms that will be available in China. But that is how China works. That is how China behaves. China is today the second most powerful economy in the world after America, right? So what we can see is that if this is the kind of a system with that Chinese leadership is going to lead the Asian order, countries like India and Japan will definitely say absolute no to that. So the very Asian order, the very concept of an Asian order with China at the head is not acceptable to many more countries, particularly India and China. So when we talk about an Asian order, even we should say that this would be a kind of a multilateral order. But that is not going to be acceptable to China. Right. So the very concept of Asian order is puzzling, and there are a lot of conjectures in it. So when we move ahead, we have seen there are border clashes with China and India, Japan and China. So in a situation like this, an Asian order with China is not at all possible. To move ahead, let me conclude. What we can see is that in a situation like today, when we have come under a pandemic called COVID 19, the way China is been blamed, accused by many more countries across the world and experts, right? And the way China is taking a defending kind of a position, it seems leading an Asian order by China is completely not acceptable to many more countries like India. So even I'll be explaining many other things like this, many more relevant concepts of international politics or international order, or you can say many more basic ideas of international politics in my next videos. Definitely you keep watching, and if you have any comment, please send it to me. Thank you so much. Have a good day.